So everyone, what was a favorite book of the last year that you read? Mainstream, Iron Age, otherwise. I'm curious. For me, I've read almost 100 books, so I'm not sure.
Mine is it's actually surprisingly mainstream, but it's based off a true story, and it was approved by the person who it was written off his son. It was The Tattooist of Auschwitz. It was actually really good.
I've heard good things about it.
Oh
Probably
no,
from
your
you.
favorite book you got this year, Christian, was The Fourth Wing.
So, Garrett, for Christmas, some of my family was kind enough to get me some books. So they did the best thing to do. Instead of going to my Amazon, they went to fruit, dude. They went to Costco. They're like, "Oh, hey, there's
Which
this book
is
being
mainstream Washington, right?
Yeah,
in the heart
mainstream
of the Wizards
Washington
of the
State.
Coast area. I could say that because I'm stuck in the same
Yep.
bubble. I mean,
God help you.
They got me an unwanted sequel for Aragon. One other book that actually sounds like it could be cool, and then they got me The Fourth Wing, the most heavily marketed fantasy book. See, Herman? Yeah, no, I saw it.
Look, Kahuna, it's the thought that counts, man.
It is, but they didn't get me one. They got me that one and the sequel, and then we read the back of it. I'm looking it up. It was so bad.
We didn't read the back of it. We didn't read the back of it. Otter read the blurb, and the blurb just kept going and going and going, and we went, how is this fitting on the back of the book? So we looked up the back of the book. It's a scene on the back of the book, so we read that as well.
Effer, I have it right here. Let me see.
You know, the last great book I read that was fiction was Joe Abercrombie's last book, which was the conclusion of his Age of Madness trilogy. What was it called? A Little Hatred? No, what was the
Oh, that's part of his second trilogy, I think.
Madness of no, not the Madness of Crowds.
Not Madness of Kings. It's a different one.
my favorite.
It was great.
My favorite indie book though had to have been Revenant in the Tomb, but that's just 'cause I couldn't put it down.
Yeah, no, that book was really it was just.
And I'm not
solid.
saying that because he's in the room, but you know.
Is he in the room with you right now?
No.
Last
Christian,
Argument
a
of
little
Kings
jealous.
was the name of the book.
That's a great book. Yeah.
I will say I think Joe Abercrombie has just a skosh of TDS, but because there was a we're gonna make the Union great again. That was literally a comment. That was a line of dialogue in the book, and I was like, really, Joe? Fuck, it's a fantasy novel. Can you just make it allegorical and subtle and just leave the topic anyway? But
now, do y'all want to hear the horrible blurb for The Fourth Wing?
Yes,
I can read it.
Yeah, can Hartman read it?
Oh, can I read it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Yep.
I've heard this
All
before,
right.
but I'm going to hear it again.
Oh, dude, I lost my nut the other day talking about this damn book. Go ahead, Otter. Go ahead. Do you have it up already?
All right, I'm gonna.
Wait, there's the blurb and then there's the back of the book. Which one are you reading?
Read the blurb because it goes on forever. It doesn't end.
Oh, I read the back of the book and because I was talking to them about what the books I got. I'm like, I've seen it marketed everywhere, so that means it's really mainstream. And I hate most mainstream books that they're pushing heavily these days.
Oh, Maji, what was the tag on it? Romantasy?
Yes.
Romantasy, yeah, or a new adult. It's not young adult, it's new adult. It's for the young adults who have now gotten older and haven't changed their taste in any way.
I think it's Amazon's way of trying to separate young adult from adult is called new adult, and that way they can stop advertising books that aren't for kids.
Maji, what we saw,
it's like young adult, but they bone.
Yeah, it's essentially
let me pull up the blurb really quick.
Oh, dude, it's pain. Also, why is the paperback $40 and the hardcover $17?
I know. I was asking that question to myself the other night.
Why?
You know why?
What?
Because it's for
That's
Costco.
probably
That's
Amazon screwing up. Because at one point I went and lowered the price on my hardcover, and then it got jacked up to like $27.
Holy
and it was stuck there for a week on its own before it went back to its own. And Maji, we got a fan.
Are you guys ready for Cartman to read off the blurb for this book?
Yes.
Hey, King Bob, can I pay you to like my book as well, please?
Actually,
I will recommend him for developmental editing and proofreading.
Garrett, he is amazing beta reader. Like he'll go through, he'll highlight stuff.
Maji
and
has
say,
her
"Hey,
big
this
collection of
sucks,"
betas.
or-
I'm one of them. I'm usually her stool.
Everyone should
But-
have a stable of betas.
He is a really good editorial
Oh
beta.
my god.
Nobody's a dom. No doms like Maji.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Sorry, Maji.
No, you're good.
No,
I'm
it's
good.
all right. You should have seen the jokes when we came on when we went on this stream together. I was dressed up as that sexy Grinch back there, and she was dressed as
that was
Maji
last week.
Prime.
He was with us.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
All right, let's go ahead and try this.
20-year-old Violet Sorengill was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now, the commanding general, also known as her toughest Talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Navarre, Dragon Riders. But when you're smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away. Because dragons don't bond to fragile humans, they incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond than cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest would kill her just for being her mother's daughter, like Zayden Riorson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant. She'll need every edge her wits can give her just to see the next sunrise. Yet, with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly. The kingdom's protective wards are failing, and the death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Friends, enemies, lovers, everyone at Basgiath War College has an agenda, because once you enter, there are only two ways out: graduate or die.
Dun, dun,
Nice.
dun.
I love it. Nice.
The back of the book is even worse
The
too.
back of the
Like, because
book
that's
is-
the
Oh,
blur.
Hold
the
on,
back-
wait. I thought that would be the same thing.
No, it's
Nope.
not.
Nope, it's not.
I looked up the back of the book and then sent the picture in, and it's literally a scene from the book or some shit.
Okay, okay. Back
Unresolved,
of
unresolved,
towards
unresolved textual tension. It just had gone over Earthwing, and I had listened to most of the time. It's bad. It's pretty.
So wait,
It's-
so
It's real bad.
Kahuna, have you read this book or not? You're not.
No, I have not read this book. It was sent to my some family members gave me not only this book but also its sequel, and I knew nothing other than it was a mainstream book. And then I read it and I despaired actively in front after stream. Everybody's like, "Oh, I want to see that." I'm like, "Oh, nope, I didn't actually do it
Well,
on a recording."
Whenever
What
I'm
a shame.
shopping for Christmas gifts, I always go to the bargain DVD bin at 7-Eleven, and I just stock up.
Well, look at it this way: if we ever have a run on toilet paper again, you're set.
That's true. That's true.
These are facts.
Okay, I have the back of the book right here. I'm going to read this.
Might have some black streaks from the ink, but you know.
Anyone else feel like changing their mind? Zayden shouts, scanning the remaining rows of cadets with the same shrewd gaze of the navy blue dragon behind him. No? Excellent. Roughly half of you will be dead by this time next summer. The formation is silent except for a few untimely sobs from my left. It gets worse. A third of you again the year after that, and the same your last year. No one cares who your mommy or daddy is here. Even King Tari's second son died during his threshing.
And
So
at this
tell
point,
me
I'm
again.
throwing it down into a gully.
Do you feel invincible now that you've made it into the Riders Quadrant? Untouchable? Elite? No one cheers. That like when I read this book. Another blast of heat rushes, this time directly at my face, and every muscle in my body clenches, preparing for incineration. But it's not flames, just steam. And it blows back Rhiannon's braids as the dragons finish their simultaneous exhale. The breeches of the first year ahead of me darken, the color spreading down his legs. They want us scared. Mission accomplished.
Oh my god.
Because you're not untouchable or special to them. Zayden points towards the Navy Dragon and leads forward slightly, like he's letting us in on a secret as we lock eyes. To them, you're just the prey. F!
Still trying to recall.
Okay,
is the
okay.
Navy Dragon
It sounds like they took Aragorn and frickin' something else and mashed it in with Twilight. It was Aragorn, Harry Potter, and Twilight, and kind of crammed it all
But
together.
all the worst parts of all of them. I'm so.
I look at your
Excited.
eyes, and I see fear that would take the heart of me.
Good night,
Stop
Raven.
blaming, Kay.
Have a good night, Raven.
Good night, Raven.
Good night, Raven.
Bro, I have but
It
the
just
thing is,
sounds
if I don't read the book, they will not buy me more books. So I will at least give it a shot.
We
Just get the Cliff Notes version.
The back is the Cliff Notes version, and I feel like swallowing the barrel of a. Never mind.
I give it one chapter if you hate it. It sounds like. Listen, I think that an institutionalized story about students learning something like that, like learning to be a dragon samurai or whatever the hell it is, that could be interesting. But I just find if it's a young adult thing that they tend to all sound the same to me. And
It's also in first person. Not most favorite.
Oh, I
you know what the
hate
problem with
that.
Aragon is though. You know why I hated Aragon? Because I read that when I was pretty young. I was like a teenager when I read that. What I hated about it was at first he's learning to train the dragon or whatever, and he's going on this adventure. Like the first thing he does is go to this town, talk to this fortune teller, and she predicts his whole life for him. And I'm like, what's the point of me reading this? She's like, you're going to fight a great battle and defeat this great evil, and you're destined to win.
Also, did you notice that
boring.
Did you notice that the magic system, if you read the entire story, by the end, it doesn't make any freaking sense anymore. I'm like, oh, with this information, this story could have been over in the first book.
You know what's another one I read that I never liked was it got turned into a really cheesy TV show like in the 2000s maybe, and it was like The Seeker of Truth was the show that they made.
Yeah, bro.
Well, I can't remember the name of the book series though, but I read like the first book and I liked about 2/3 of it, and then I got to the end and I was like, this sucks. I just don't like this. But the show was even worse. The show was terrible.
I read a good mainstream book recently too. Oh, that's what it is. By Brian McKellen, Sins of Empire. I read that book recently. Holy smokes!
Sword of Truth. You're right, King Bob. That was it.
That is what it was called. Holy smokes!
Sword
I
of
forgot
Truth
about
series.
that.
Well, now let's see if I can do them today. Okay, Kahuna, I know that swallowing a barrel it seems preferable to reading the book. You
Dr.
just don't
Peterson.
do it. And you know, if you probably cleaned up your room, you wouldn't be this depressed all the time.
I don't want to clean up my room, Dr. Peterson. Don't tell me what to do.
You either clean up your room or you read Fourth Wing and the
You
Secret.
can't make me. Oh crap!
See, that's what happens when you force yourself into a situation.
You're saying if I pump myself too hard in my dirty room, my life isn't going to go the way I want it to?
Well, pretty much, yes.